This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio. I'm Jody Miller-Young, your host. What's more fun than dressing up for a party? Today, I have a sneak peek of one of the biggest dog events descending upon New York City in just a few days. It's the G-Girl Productions' 5th annual Cotillion. And if you want to learn what happens behind the scenes of a glamorous doggy fashion event, stick around. We're talking to G-Girl Productions founder Laura Souza, lead designer at the Cotillion, Nanette Duranda of Shenanigans, and canine fashion show veteran and dog mom, Wendy Carlson DePinto. And they're all dishing dogs. So get comfortable while we pause for our sponsor, grab that favorite beverage, and we'll be right back.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggosuds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggosud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggosuds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. If you've just joined, you're in luck. You haven't missed a thing. We're about to introduce 3 ladies who are instrumental in making a big doggy fashion show work. The organizer, the lead designer, and the doggy stage mom, meant in the nicest terms with this lady. I'm lucky enough to know 3 of the best, and we're going to be talking to them roundtable style today. So please meet G-Girl Productions founder and chief organizer of the Cotillion, Laura Souza, couture canine fashion designer and longtime G-Girl costume creator, Nanette Duranda of Shenanigans, and Wendy Carlson DePinto, a dedicated dog catwalker and stage mom to her star Yorkies, Duchess, Gigi, and Taylor. Welcome, ladies. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Jody.
Hello.
Hi, girls.
I know, Laura, you're in New York. Wendy, you're getting ready to leave for New York. Nanette, what city are you in?
I am in Boca Raton, Florida, and I'm also getting ready to leave for New York.
Okay, very exciting. I am so bummed that I'm not going to be able to be there this year, but I'm going to live this vicariously through you ladies. So we're going to get started because I know there's so much that goes into creating an event like this. It's very multi-layered, very visible. Laura, how far in advance did you begin working on this event?
The Cotillion, I came to New York last year in August. So this event, because it's my biggest event, I spent an entire year on working on this event. In between doing 3 other events, huge, as big as this, but not the Cotillion balls.
No, but you're a superstar, Laura. I mean, you put on an event. You put on an amazing event. I'm serious.
I definitely love what I do, and I really love what the brand and the G-Girl family does to help the charities, because I work very hard, but I couldn't do what I do without people like Wendy DePinto, who follow the brand, and designers like Nanette, who donate to the events. That's how we really raise the money for the charities.
Yeah, I totally hear you. Nanette, I'm very curious, what went into designing and creating the most complicated costume you've done to date? Because I see some pretty intricate work at the Cotillion that I was at. What went into it?
Well, I start probably 3 or 4 months out from the actual event date. And what I do is discuss ideas with my client. I make suggestions, and then when we come to a decision, I make a sketch so that they can see a little bit of what I have in my mind. And then I start searching out the fabrics and the and the trims for the gown or for the tuxedo. Most of the gowns or tuxedos that I do take me probably 40 or 50 hours to complete because I do a lot of hand sewing, hand beading. A lot of the embellishment is hand done on the tux or on the gowns. Some of them take longer than that. It all depends on how much detail goes into each garment.
I'm sure that some of your clients are, not local, maybe all over the country. How do you work with things like fittings to ensure that day of everything is perfect?
Well, I've met most of my clients and their dogs, so I have taken measurements. What I usually do is, for new clients, is I'll make a muslin mock-up and send it to them so that they can try it on their dog and take pictures so I can see where it needs to be tweaked. So I have a good visual of how the garment is going to fit, and then I start construction from there.
Perfect. So ladies and gentlemen, anybody interested, this is how it's done. Wendy Duchess, who is one of your little stars, has done a lot of fashion show events. She's won numerous awards. What's her routine day of?
Well, it's not just day of, but up to that point, we have to, of course, meet with our designer, whoever we choose to construct her gowns for the event, or gowns, as the case may be. And, that takes time, of course, like you said before, with fittings. And, Nanette has made Duchess something for this cotillion, so we're excited to show everyone what she created this time. But Duchess is my little superstar. She's very calm and very quiet until she's in the spotlight, and then she knows that she's the center of attention. So the morning of, usually she's what I consider buff, puffed, and fluffed. She's given a, once over with every little hair in place, and, toenails all buffed down and teeth cleaned, and then she gets her little beauty rest before we usually go into the event. And she just has one of those charming personalities that people seem to love.
Duchess is one of our past Miss Cotillions. So this year, she will be competing for Ambassador International Best Evening Gown. But she is a stunning fur baby. She was our 2015 Miss Cotillion. Is that correct, Wendy?
Yeah, that's right, 2015.
Wendy? Yeah, 2015.
It's incredible how they know, though. I mean, it's a moot point, my next question. Does she get nervous when the judges are inspecting her gown? But if she loves the spotlight and she just knows, probably not. Does she?
She kind of does. I mean, she's a rescue, and we rescued her in 2014. And I had brought my other dog, Gigi, to a couple of G-Girl events, and decided, I would just see how Duchess would do. And I brought her to the Cotillion in 2015, and she was wearing a beautiful gown. And this little rescue dog that was quiet and shy kind of blossomed into this little personality that I had never seen. It was like she, knew that this was what she wanted to do. And, these days now, she doesn't really get nervous. She actually loves the attention. When the judges are inspecting the gown, she knows how to. It's kind of funny because she's really small. She only weighs about 5.5 pounds. And she stands up and sticks her little chest out and puts her little nose up like, okay, go ahead and check it all out. So she kind of knows exactly. She knows how to show off the gown to where, she wears the gown. The gown doesn't wear her. So she's pretty funny. But
I think people don't realize, like the AKC, how these dogs know that it's time to turn on the charm. In the G-Girl events, there are a very good majority that know, it's time to sparkle. And Duchess is one of them. Gia also. I look at Gia, I say it's time to sparkle. And she knows it's, it's time to show myself off. And I really feel they enjoy it. I have one rescue that doesn't like doing it, so she doesn't. Gia happens to. Gabrielle has. So you really can tell by I think by just the attitude of the dog, if this is something that would be wonderful for you to get involved with.
And I think this is really important to share too, because there are people out there who think, oh my God, dressing your dog, they don't like it. They don't have a say in it. But there are dogs out there who love it, who love the attention. So this is really important to say. And it's important, Laura, you mentioning, that one of your dogs doesn't like it, or one of the dogs doesn't like it, so they don't do it. And you honor that too.
Gisela, she doesn't like wearing clothes. She doesn't even like wearing clothes. So you know what? She stays home. We tease her and say she's the only one that doesn't work for a living. She's a lady of leisure. But, because she doesn't like it. But there are dogs like Duchess, like numerous, like our Mr. and Miss Cotillion from last year, Cooper Gardner, our Miss Cotillion, Autumn Grace. They love that. They love to show off. Just
and
like
you can tell.
KC dogs.
Yeah. Exactly.
You certainly can. You can read your fur baby immediately if they like doing this or they don't.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
true.
Duchess, when I get her dresses out, if I pull a dress out or a little harness, Duchess starts spinning around on the, running around and dancing around. She knows that means she's going somewhere and she's going to have fun, and she absolutely loves it. So, like Laura said, some of them don't though, and if they don't, then you can come and watch.
Exactly. Yeah. You can come to the event and not dress your dog, but bring your dog to enjoy the event. 100%. Actually, I love that. I love to have more. The more people, the better, because the more that comes, the more we're able to raise for the charity. I think even Nanette can tell when she first meets a dog. We do model searches sometimes, and then that will come and do measuring to help the brand. And she'll sometimes look at me and say, "You know what, Laura, this one isn't ready for clothes. She just doesn't seem like she's going to like clothes." Don't you feel you can tell that?
You can tell it right away, and you can spot the ones that are really ready and raring to go. And what we do a lot of times at those model searches is I'll give them something to wear in the fashion show so they can do a little practice, and we can see, if they're ready for it or not. And other dogs they're a little bit shy about another person touching them, like putting a tape measure on them to measure them. And you can tell it right away. And I talk to them and touch them and everything. So I don't just like pick them up and wrap a tape measure around them. But
you're sensitive.
You can tell if they're ready to go or not. And if they perk up because they're getting a lot of attention. And that's the key. The dogs that do well in the competition are the ones who just love to have the attention. And like Wendy was saying, as soon as the gown goes on, they know it's time. They know it's ready. They're going to get all of the attention.
And brings that sparkle as soon as she puts a gown on. It's like, here I am, world.
Right.
Yeah.
And Duchess is very calm and patient, even with fittings. She might not be in the mood for some reason for a fitting, but she's very calm and she's very patient. She knows, in the end that it's going to be all of the attention on her. She's got the perfect personality.
Yeah. So, Nanette, drawing the attention to the clothes now, too. I mean, you've been a designer since you were a little girl, right? You took a nod from your grandmother, who was a professional seamstress, yeah?
Yes, I did. And when I was a teenager, I wanted to wear all the latest fashions. And, of course, my parents didn't have a budget for that. So my grandmother, who was a professional seamstress, taught me to sew, taught me to make patterns so I can do whatever I wanted to do. And now I do that for the fur babies.
For the doggies,
Yeah. And I started making the costumes for my dogs because I wanted to take them everywhere with me, and I wanted them to be able to do all of the things that I did. And I'm really into Halloween, so I needed little Halloween costumes for them. And I'm very competitive, so of course they had to have the absolute best costumes that they can have. They couldn't just be the store-bought ones. They needed special stuff, and that's how I got started. Designing for the fur babies.
Awesome. Well, for this event, as Laura mentioned, the big award of the night is who is crowned Mr. Cotillion and Miss Cotillion. In your opinion, Nanette, as a designer, what makes for a winning costume?
I think a winning costume is something that is original. There are so many gowns that you really need something that's unique and original to get the attention of the judges. Because there's a lot of fluffy organza out there, so you have to make sure that what you're designing has design elements to it that you haven't seen before. Not so much.
And the designers have a very strict criteria of what the judges are looking for. Not only creativity,
for quality,
wow factor. It's the workmanship. Is there loose threads? Is the seam? Is the garment lined? Say it's even that they pick a certain gown that the designer saw on a human and their vision of what that gown was. How creative was that? There's so many elements that the judges have. So it's not just, we look at this gown and this is the prettiest. No, they're looking at the workmanship, the threads, the bodice, if the crystals are glued or hand sewn, if the beading is sewn. So this is really, for these designers, really are the cream of the crop that go into these contests because they know, and it's not just Joe Schmo off the street that's judging them. The judges are very well renowned in the fashion industry and also have a very good knowledge of the construction of a garment and the creativity. Our one judge for Saturday night designed the entire black tie evening gown line for Ola Cassini.
Yep.
So, and she also was an accessory designer for Valentino. So you got to step your game up if you're going to.
This is not for the faint of heart, people. You need to prepare. And talking about, that it could be a bit nerve-wracking for the dog parents, at least, with everybody on display. Laura, in your previous life, you were a singer and you performed in the theater in New York. So how does the backstage at Cotillion compare with what goes on just before curtain in a Broadway show?
Oh, it's probably crazier because you've got, a bunch of stage moms, trying to get their fur babies ready, trying to line up in order, being nervous, making sure that they're holding the fur baby correctly so the gown is being shown. And then, thank God there are veterans like Wendy, who kind of, we really say that G-Girl is a family. Sometimes a little bit dysfunctional family, but it's a family. Anytime there's a contest, after the contest, you always have people who don't agree with the three judges' opinion. But people like Wendy, who is seasoned, a lot of the girls, because we are a family, they'll say, take a breath, you're going to be fine, just watch me. So, we really all take care of each other.
That's wonderful.
And I'm always backstage to help fluff everybody up.
You gotta be.
Yes, I am.
We don't want any wardrobe malfunctions.
Right. Not just for my contestants, but for everyone. I want to make sure everybody goes up there and presents themselves the best possible way.
Judy,
nice. Very nice.
And Annette knows this too. One of the main things that stands the brand differently from other contests is that the moms are required to wear black. So they are the accessory and the fur baby is the star. So you're not even really looking. I tell the judges, if the mom stepped in front of you naked, it wouldn't matter because you're not looking at the mother. It's all about the fur baby. So That is the thing. When you win
That would matter
title
to
with the
someone.
Yeah, right. I think somebody would notice that, but I mean that's how severe I say to them not to even look at the mom or the dad because it is all about the fur baby. So when you win a title for G-Girl, you're the full package. You have a gown that is constructed in creativity, and the fur baby has a fabulous personality and presents well. It is, especially the Cotillion. The Cotillion is like winning the Miss and Mr. America of the fur baby world. The highest title in my brand, which, we've now been doing 5 big events a year. This is the biggest.
Yep. And it's becoming quite famous. And yes, for the beautiful fur babies and the incredible designs, but also for its accoutrement, like your 3-course dinners for both dogs and their parents. And everybody, I'd be hard-pressed to say who's getting the better meal here. The dogs get the doggy, champagne, the works, but that's just a part of it. Tell everybody, because people are coming from all over the country to attend Cotillion this year. Your community is very spread out, and it's really grown. Tell people a little bit about what they can expect at Cotillion this year. Any special New York touches added, that sort of thing.
Well, of course, I always like to outdo myself. So we, of course, have the 3-course meal. The dogs are served organic chicken, steamed vegetables. There is a 3-tier fur baby cake that is served to their fur babies on top of that with the champagne. And then I also trying to tie into my theater background. We have a fabulous dancer from Steps of Broadway opening up the Cotillion for Cotillion Night. So it not only is the wonderful fashion, but I'm tying in a lot of my background of Broadway into this event. So everything is between, from the centerpieces to the stage lighting, has all been stepped up more than last year's. From, of course, this time last year, we were in Jupiter, Florida. Just the growth of the brand in 1 year is astronomical. That, we went from being in Florida to being in Manhattan at the New Yorker Hotel in the gorgeous redone ballroom.
Wow.
And you're sitting there having dinner with your fur baby. It's, it is taking the luxury of a pet to the highest point. But the underlining of it is that everybody's there. Yes, they love the contest, but they're there to raise funds for the charity. I always say
we're going to talk about that. Tell everybody, before we talk about the charity, tell everybody, because there's just a few tickets left, how they can get tickets.
Well, to be honest, there are no tickets left.
Oh,
we
my
are
goodness,
sold out completely.
Wow.
Yep, we are sold out. Actually, was almost 2 weeks before the event. And I have to say, I was nervous as heck. Nanette and Wendy can account for that I was going to come to New York and not be able to at least get the minimum of what I had told the venue, and I exceeded that by so much it's not even funny.
That's amazing, Laura. Congratulations. Now tell everybody about every year Laura chooses a charity to raise funds for. It's not every year, it's every event. And with the Cotillion being her biggest event of the year and now being in New York this year, tell us about the charity that you chose.
Sure. Because the brand travels state to state, I always try to pick an underdog rescue to try to help. So this year, the Cotillion is helping a small nonprofit organization called Yorkie 911 Rescue. They are based out of Long Island, and they are completely volunteer-based, which means they have no one that is getting paid from what is raised from any of their events. So anything that the Cotillion raise will go directly to the fur babies. And that's what I look for. I look for those smaller rescues who really need a family like G-Girl to help them to keep their doors open, to keep helping, 90% of the fur babies that come to G-Girl events are rescues. So it's
Absolutely.
not, we're very much about the rescues. And I fell in love with Yorkie 911. They're just a lovely group of ladies, and we're tickled pink. We're crying when I called them and asked if they'd, like me to do the event for them.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, we're going to take a short break from our sponsor, but when we come back, anybody who's interested, who thinks they might have a budding superstar in their fur baby, Wendy's going to tell us how Duchess and Gigi became runway models, got into the business. Nanette is going to tell us about her worst wardrobe malfunction and what she did about it. And we're going to learn from Laura about some of the wonderful silent auction items that are being presented this year. So don't go away. Refresh that favorite beverage. We'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back, right after we kibble a little with our sponsors.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio, and I'm Jody Miller-Young, your host. We're here today with Laura Souza, Wendy Carlson DePinto, and Nanette Duranda, all major factors in bringing the very first New York City Cotillion to life on August 10th and 11th of this month, just a few days. Welcome back, ladies. Wendy.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
Duchess and Gigi, how did they get into the business for anybody interested in their fur babies maybe entering the modeling business?
Well, I had a girlfriend who had attended a couple of Laura's smaller events, and she said, oh, it's so fun. And she lived in South Carolina, and she said, I'm coming down to Florida for the Cotillion. This was 2014. And she said, you've got to go with me. Just come. So she said, just get your dog a dress and, let's go. So I said, all right. So I, got myself a dog dress, which was kind of, when you haven't done it before, Gigi, she wore harnesses and stuff, but she had never worn a dress, so I didn't know what I was in for. But I actually had contacted another girlfriend through Facebook who did make some dog garments and said, do you want to make me something? So she did. And I went to the first Cotillion with Gigi, and I was just amazed. I mean, it was so fun, and just to watch everybody, having their moment on stage in front of the judges. Laura has changed now over time how the judging is, and she can tell you about that. But, you got to go on the stage, you went in front of the judges, and they got to see all these cute dogs, and we just had a fun time. And, I think that was pretty much, if somebody's interested in learning how to do this, it's really not hard. And there's a lot of first-timers this time in New York. I'm sitting at a table, ladies from New York who have never been to a G-Girl event, let alone a Cotillion. And so for me, it's kind of fun because I get to tell them, look, guys, don't worry. It'll be fine. You just go and you have a good time. And, it is about the competition, but the competition is not what it's all about. It's all about having a good time with your dog, and most importantly, the money that we raise for the rescue at the end of the night. And, a couple ladies the first time, didn't realize possibly like what their gown needed to entail to be able to win. There is that facet of it that, yes, you have to invest your time. You have to invest, an investment in the gown, in the garment to, be able to win, let's say, best evening gown or something. But even if you don't and you don't want to do that, you can come and just enjoy your time with your dog and watch the other ladies. And it's not about at the end of the night necessarily who wins the trophy. Of course, everyone wants to win. But, everyone's a winner there because you've done something great for a charity. And, at the end of the day, everyone can say they had a good time. I've never heard anybody say, I've been to now since 2014, which Gigi came in runner-up that evening, was my first event that I went to, and Gigi came in runner-up, and I was hooked at that point. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going to everyone from now on, and I think I've been to every one except for one of them, so it's just every cotillion, but, I've been to every event, I think, Laura, haven't I? Almost everyone.
I see you at every one that I go to, so I think that's probably true.
Well, I always say that there's 4 reasons why I do this. First, to raise funds for charities throughout the country. Second, to bring awareness to the fantabulous world of fashion and designers like Shenanigans, like other designers that are involved with these events. Third is for the camaraderie, to get a group of women together and men who enjoy spending time with their fur baby. And the fourth reason I do it is because everybody's lovely, but it get really boring just sitting there for hours looking at each other. I throw the contest in to make it a little bit, let's have a little bit of fun.
But, fun and friendly competition.
Right.
There's definitely friendly competition there, Laura. Don't kid yourself on that one.
That keeps
the contest might be a little higher on the list for some of the people who
maybe not on Laura's priorities, but
I always say that everyone is a winner because they're there supporting the rescue. This year, we will be, actually, everyone that comes Saturday night will be receiving a G-Girl medallion because I feel everyone is a winner for being there supporting Yorkie 911. And my favorite comment, and Wendy can contest to this, and that's when they're upset, it's 3 people's opinion.
Right. And you have another thing. You've got that
impartial people.
Yes, 3 people who do not know any of the designers or the dogs or the fur babies. Oh, sorry.
And then, Laura, you have that sign that's usually at the entrance of the door, too. What is that sign?
That sign is our theme for the evening. No fur mama drama zone. So, unfortunately, that's not always the case. There's some people who, it is funny. Everybody loves everybody. But, of course, deep down, everybody would like their fur baby to win. So, why? Sometimes people have a little sour grapes. Oh, I didn't think that dress was. But it's not only for, the best evening gown. It is about the gown. The dog can be the most timid dog. You're looking at the gown. But this congeniality is more about the personality. Mr. and Miss Cotillion, they are the Cary Grant and the Grace Kelly of the evening. They've got
the full package.
Yes.
They
have the full package. And sometimes I look at this and I look at the judges and say, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not judging this. At the Age of Enlightenment that we just did in Virginia Beach, I do not know. I would have never wanted to judge that contest. It was one gorgeous, well-constructed garment after the other. I mean, these designers did that. It came down to what was the most creative technique that they used. And one of the designers had used, a type of, Nanette could probably tell you more, a different type of how she researches to, if it's a period.
The period, yeah. Incredible. Deep dive into the detail.
The sewing techniques.
Yeah, her gown was 100% historically accurate.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That was Danielle Purcell. She is from, I'll say it, Wendy, because I always screw it up.
Where? Where's she from?
What's Danielle Purcell's company's name?
So doggone
So
creative.
doggone creative.
Creative. So doggone creative. Yeah.
So, and she has done a wonderful thing.
Nanette, sometimes wardrobe malfunctions are embarrassing, but sometimes they're downright life-changing. Now, I don't know that they'd be life-changing in this setting, but what's the worst one, and what'd you do?
I haven't really had any malfunctions, but I had a heck of a challenge. I was designing for a new puppy, a puppy that I hadn't met. Now, I usually complete my designs 3 or 4 months before the event, so I was waiting to do his last, and every time I checked, his measurements had changed because he was going through so many growth spurts, and so I kept changing and changing and changing. Finally, it was time for me. I had to make the outfit, and I did, and if the event was like 10 minutes later than it was, he would have outgrown it because he had grown again. So that was the biggest challenge I've ever had. Then I designed for him for an event after that, and he was, of course, still growing. So I did it all over again.
Oh my God! Come back, dog is full grown.
And finally, he's full grown. Yes, I didn't have alternative measurements for him for the Cotillion, so that made it a lot easier for me, anyway.
Absolutely.
And I want all of my customers to look perfect, everything be exactly right. So it was stressing me out a lot because I wanted to make sure that, especially for his first event, that he looked really good. And so
there's nothing worse than a dog
okay.
busting out of his costume. That would not be good. Not a good look.
Or having something that's a tuxedo look like it's a vest instead of a tuxedo because he's getting longer, and it was a challenge.
Exactly. So part of the Cotillion, and an important part in terms of raising money for Yorkie 911 Rescue this year, is the silent auction. And Laura was just telling me before everybody got on the phone that she is overwhelmed with the response from the G-Girl community with donations for it. And I just want her to tell you a little bit about maybe a couple of the most juicy, wonderful silent auction items that are being presented this year.
Well, we have the 12 fantabulous live auction items that go anywhere from pet gear, stroller to an air buggy to a custom-made set from LD European Couture, the Little Dog Group. And that is a custom-made carry bag, harness, gown, a Mommy and Me necklace. That's one of the sets for the live auction. Pet Gear was kind enough to donate 3 strollers. So we have 1 that we're live streaming and 2 that will be raffling. We also have 2 air buggies. 1 will be raffled, 1 will be a live auction, silent auction, the gowns and the accessories that have been sent by the G-Girl family and designers. I am just overwhelmed. Just the things that were made are just beautiful. That's actually why I'm here so much earlier, because I've spent most of the day opening up boxes and getting them segregated for silent auction, raffles, or the live auction. And unbelievable the amount of support that we have gotten from the G-Girl family and this event from the major manufacturers of fur baby items.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Laura. If anything isn't scooped up, is there a possibility of people who have not attended the Cotillion to bid for them, maybe in a post-Cotillion Facebook auction to raise more money for Yorkie?
Well, I did do an online auction prior to the event, but this was a little bit more difficult. When I do it in South Florida, I can have all of the garments come So the online one was mostly accessories, because with garments, people like to feel it or like to see a live stream of it. And I had everything shipped to, bless her heart, a very good friend of mine home. All of the raffle items, silent live auctions were shipped to New York. So I was working with solely pictures. So, when I do the live auctions and I'm able to live stream it on social media and really show the workmanship. But this time around, I basically did accessories for the online.
Got you. Okay. All right. So we have to wrap up, but there's one last thing, kind of just a thought that I want to get from each of you, because at the end of it all, as you've said, all of you, it's about having fun, raising money for animals less fortunate than ours. What was one of the most wonderful experiences you've taken away from Cotillions in the past? Laura?
I would have to say to see first what we raised for the charity, and then to see the faces of the ladies and them enjoying themselves. And it's like you get the way the country is right now, it's so divided. It is very much an escape. You go into this world that the whole weekend is just about you and your fur baby, and all of your problems go away for a couple of days. And that's what I enjoy. And that's something I found out as this year has gone by attendees saying to me, Laura, I just wait for the next one because it gives me that escape from reality.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like a Disneyland with your fur baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Nanette, what about you?
Well, for me, it's so much fun to be able to go and do something with your dogs and with people who are like-minded. And it's just for such a good cause. It makes it very rewarding overall to be able to participate in something like that.
Wonderful. Wendy, one of the most wonderful experiences you've taken away?
Well, I think just being able to go and meet other like-minded dog families and, friends. I mean, if it wasn't for G-Girl, I wouldn't have met so many of these beautiful women and men, but especially the women that, care so much about their own fur babies and have the heart big enough that they extend their wallet and care about the ones that are less fortunate and don't have a home. And, I've made so many friends through this process. And, it truly is a family. I mean, there's just been, your heart just feels good when you're there, because you get to see people that you might have not met otherwise. And you see people and meet people that you're friends with on Facebook that or other social media that you may have not ever gotten to meet in person. And now you actually meet the person and have a relationship, where you would not have had that opportunity in the past. So that's something that we can be thankful for G-Girl, because I've met so many of my friends that way, and that's really special.
That is.
Including you, Jody.
Including
you, Jody.
Aw, thank you. Thanks.
Well, we're a family. That's what I always say. Once you come to an event, or you donate, or do an online contest, or you become a G-Girl model, you're part of the family. So that's what the business is really based on. That we're a family trying to go throughout the country, helping less fortunate fur babies.
Well, you know what? And this is important too. The G-Girl family stays in touch all year long. It's not like some other, like there are some other contests that are once a year, and, you don't really stay in touch until it's getting close. But the G-Girl family does stay in touch throughout the year and are always working on one thing or another to raise money for a great cause. Laura.
Well, the brand has done one every 3 months this year.
Which is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Laura, where can people find you so that they can join the G-Girl community if they want it?
I am 90% of the promotion of my business is on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So I would
just give them your
Instagram. Yes, I would go under G-Girl Productions. If you're interested in the modeling, you go under G-Girl Model page. We also have the G-Girl Boutique, which has items that are G-Girl, like my fur baby's a G-Girl. And then all of the events are on Maine, which is G-Girl Productions. You can also check www.ggirlproductions.com, but that just usually has the upcoming or current flyer.
Okay, no, that's very helpful. Facebook is the spot.
Facebook is really, yeah.
Nanette, what about you for shenanigans? If they want to
find me, you can find me on Shenanigans and Shenanigans on Facebook under Shenanigans Embellishments
you should spell that
for dogs. And Shenanigans is spelled SCHIH, like Shih Tzu, because my inspiration comes from my two little girlies who are little mini Shih Tzus. So the company is called Shenanigans, SHINANIGANS. So on Facebook, it's Shenanigans Embellishments for Dogs.
Perfect. Wendy, what about you? If people want to follow your adventures with Duchess, Gigi, and Taylor, who is shy and stays home, but she's adorable and sweet.
Yeah, she is. Well, because of all these events, I set up my own dog page for Duchess. So on Facebook, she's on there. Yeah, and you can follow all her adventures. She's always doing something fun. It's Duchess of Palm Beach on Facebook. And on Instagram, she is the Duchess of Palm Beach. And her little profile picture is this adorable little Yorkie, so you can't miss it.
Fantastic. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for participating on my show, and I'm wishing you all
Thank you, Jody,
lots
so
of
much for the support of the brand.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I'm wishing you all lots of fun and fabulous fashion at the Cotillion and raising lots of money for Yorkie 911 Rescue. So happy Jody. Ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jody.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you all for listening. What you do is why we're here. So I also want to thank Mark Winter, our producer. He makes us sound very good. My passion is living stylishly in animal rescue. So tune in next time to discover the designers, home decor, styles, and rescue stories I love. And don't forget to visit me at barkandswagger.com, where you'll find great fashion, shelter stories, and more. So until next time, when fierce fashion calls, bark and swagger.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.